Well, good afternoon, and maybe good morning to some of our partners joining our second partner webinar of the year. Thank you for sparing some time to be with us today. I think we'll be wrapped up within the hour, but we've got some useful content that we believe will be interesting for you. So I'm Neil Hamilton. I think I've met many of you or spoken to a number of you. And joining us today, we have our colleagues Giovanni, who heads up, he's the product manager for our Cloud Locate and Cell Locate products, along with some of the supporting new products that are coming on the platform soon. We have Tony in the wings, who many of you know as well. And we're going to lead you through the following agenda. So today we're going to be covering off just a short solution partner highlight, something interesting that some of you may be interested in, and that's part of this event, is really to cross-pollinate where we think partners and could work together and certainly benefit each other. We'll then start looking at some of the partner marketing. We've been talking about this for some time, and as many of you know, the u-blox partner program is relatively new. We got it underway last year. And part of our commitment to our partners is to generate leads and help you with marketing, because if you're successful, we're successful. So we'll cover off some of the things that's happening there, which I think you'll find really interesting. And then we move into just a brief technology update, where we'll a bit of an update on a new piece of cellular hardware that's coming that I think is really exciting for certainly for using products like MQTT anywhere in the world. And then Giovanni will give us a bit of an update on Cloud Locate, because there's been some interesting developments there, and he's going to help put some color around how we can position that in our product designs and what the benefits are, etc. So if we move forward, so just a few things. Tony and the team have been very busy globally, working with different types of partners who we feel really bring some value to the ecosystem here. And one of the most recent partners we've begun to work with through various customer engagements is actually a company from Taiwan who work globally, a company called SoftChef. And we thought that would be interesting to share with you today, because I know a number of our sort of design partners are working on shared mobility platforms for e-scooters, private mobility bikes, these types of things, and a lot of work goes into getting the cellular, the GNSS, all the positioning systems and what have you on board these things. But this company provide kind of the other component, where in the situation where you may not be developing the actual application the end user uses, or the internal systems that the operator of bikes and what have you, this is where SoftChef come in. In fact, they focus on a couple of areas in the market. One area is smart street lights. So again, municipal shared based infrastructures where the data needs to be disseminated out to different stakeholders in a utilities provider. And again, as I say, one of the areas that we're finding a lot of traction is very much around smart transportation. So this is typically the companies that are trying to build the sharing, the rental schemes, and so there's a pre-baked firmware and cloud application that can be married up to maybe this, the firmware level that our design partners might be working on to build an end-to-end solution. So really, this is just, if anyone's interested or are working on such designs and you're scratching your heads thinking about, how are we solving that problem for the customers that haven't yet figured out who they're going to use for the application side, the user application, then we now have an integrated stack here with SoftChef, which we think is quite interesting. So again, it's not for all verticals, but in these particular areas, we think it's pretty exciting because it helps people accelerate and get to market quicker. So with the integration between the ThinkStream platform and the SoftShare stack, we think there's definitely some legs in certain applications here, and we're seeing some traction globally here as well. So that's really interesting to see. So we thought we'd just share that with you, just to see. And more of this we're starting to work on other companies that may be working on specialist applications for particular areas, where our design community might find it useful to have access to a kind of directory of these types of services. So that's something that's coming. And another partner we'd just like to highlight, u-blox typically has traditionally worked with many antenna partners, and we do. For the recent launch of Point Perfect and a number of customer engagements, we have been working with Talisman, a Canadian-based high precision antenna manufacturer. And as you can see here, the common applications that we've promoted that Point Perfect fits with, so the high precision mass market, correction service, different antennas are used for different applications. So again, with the team at Talisman, and again they've got global reach, we're starting to pair, if you like, the correct modules from a u-blox perspective with the appropriate antenna to get the best quality kind of prototype up and running very quickly. What we've noticed is we have customers who will often, and you may have recently attended one of our webinars around this specifically, but we often see customers will build a board, they will get on board maybe the ZF9P, write some firmware. The last thing that might be focused on is popping on the antenna. And when it comes to high precision applications, it's probably the wrong time maybe to introduce one, as you may well know. So if anyone's struggling with antennas and they're interested in kind of looking at maybe what these guys at Talisman have on offer, just let Tony know, or whoever you deal with regularly in u-blox, and we can route you to the right people if needed. So a lot of optimization going on here, and also design kind of design advice and guides around working with these technologies. So again, just thought we'd share that with the community, because we often find that is usually a pain point in some developments. So with that, I was just going to move into the partner marketing side of things. And this is kind of where we're really starting to focus, because part of our commitment to you is helping you find leads, which we think is very important for us. So you may have noticed, and I'm not too sure if Mark's on the call with us today, but the website has finally started to evolve. We've recently upgraded the u-blox website to fundamentally new CMS, and you'll see there's a whole new look and feel about how we promote solutions on that. But we are making more visible now the partner directory. It's been taking some time, and we appreciate we've been asking you for content for this. So you'll see now, in fact, this may not be the latest look and feel, but by all means, if you visit u-blox.com and you scroll to the bottom currently, you'll find a link in the bottom of the footer of the site for these, this particular page and directory. So in here, this is where we're starting to populate, our partner, our community. Across the 4 sections, so design partners and solution partners, the technology partners such as Talisman, who we just explained, would be in here, and then we have our generic alliance memberships that we also link up with. So again, Tony, do you feel you got content in from all parties, or are you still sort of chasing up and populating some of these?
Yeah, it's still work in progress. But please, guys, if I haven't reached out to you by chance, do send me through some information, or just get hold of me, and I will let you know what information required for the site.
Yeah,
thanks,
amazing. Neil. Yeah, thanks, Tony. So again, please check in there. What we'll do is we'll make sure we ping you to say when the listings are live. Please check them. Feel free to edit if needed, and maybe evolve them over time. You might have new imagery, because for the design partners that are building maybe generic boards and things like this that are readily available to customers, then we're happy to feature this on here. It will evolve as well. We are looking to tag the directory, make it more searchable. Even our own sales population really want access to this partner directory, because they don't necessarily know who to go to if they have a customer who really needs some help with design support. We have an internal directory. We use Salesforce as our CRM. However, it's not obvious in there how to go about finding this information. So once we've populated this, probably end of this week, more than likely next week, we're going to be communicating internally to everyone about, here are the official kind of partners that we're encouraging you to work with. So bit by bit, we're getting there. So thanks for your patience, and thank you for sending through the content that we need for the site as well. So the next step is you will notice across the website there are these new kind of pillar pages for particular use cases: shared mobility, healthcare, asset tracking, this kind of thing. And you'll notice that there are contact us forms for these things. What we're doing now, we've employed some new members to the team, and we're now triaging these leads. So typically, because u-blox has been effectively a semiconductor company for best part of 22, 23 years, until we started getting involved in services, many of these lead forms would be sent directly out to distributors, and they would read the applicant's requirements in the forms, and typically, if it wasn't necessarily saying I need a price for 1,000 widgets, it may not get the attention. However, many of the questions that come in are, we're trying to improve accuracy of something, or we're trying to preserve our battery to last longer. What could you help us with? So it's never really an explicit question about a product. It's a call for help with a problem. And so here is where we intend to, and we've started, I know a number of you have started receiving these. We're starting to send you, our community, the leads to follow up, because these aren't distribution questions or for distributors. These are questions from companies who need some consultancy, some help around their designs. So we're starting to align this process, and we've now got a dedicated team to start farming this business. So now they can see the directory of partners on the website more easily, and internally in our Salesforce application, Tony's been working hard with the IT team to make it more accessible. We hope to start sending you, and some of you have, I know, already started receiving leads from these inquiries. So that's really exciting to start seeing how we can pass business to you guys. The other aspect is trade shows. Here's just two. We're going to Sensors Converge, the bottom image here. That's coming up in a couple of weeks' time, I think end of June. And again, we want to feature partner technologies, partners, etc. here on these stands. You know, an IoT solution, regardless of what it is, we only provide one part of that, and you guys are providing the design skills, the solutions that wrap around this. So we're keen to include our partners on these shows. But additionally, you might be thinking of going to a particular show, maybe a particular vertical, and we have a budget where we can get involved and maybe assist with that. If it's a kind of a high growth area where we think, yep, there's definitely going to be some growth in this market. We, however, don't want to be the consultant. We don't want to be the prime for the customers. We just want to generate the leads for you guys. So if you have ideas, again, send them into typically Tony. It should be the best first point of call. But you know, if you don't yet know Tony, then maybe just your local kind of known representative, and we can work with you in evaluating these opportunities. So that's really exciting, and we'll see more of that now COVID's passed and actual shows are coming back together. You know, and I think what we have seen ourselves already is the smaller events, the more niche events, seem to be better bang for buck in terms of investment. You know, going to these larger shows, there's a lot of footfall, and there's a lot of kind of, you know, passing trade that's not really specifically interested. But if we go to a, I don't know, for argument's sake, an agri show where there's a whole section around irrigation and soil monitoring or something like that, that's really interesting to us, because we know there's a very specific need that needs to be met, and we can do that with your help around the designs. So again, just so we'd you know, begin to solicit that we're interested in working with you on those things. Some examples as well of, again, unusual maybe, but something we'd like to do is actually become your marketing arm in some respects. So in the situations where you have a fantastic customer story using u-blox technology, but you might not have access to a PR company, or you know, you might not think it's a particularly interesting story, we're keen to get replicate business into you. So for example, lovely example here with our dear friends at LaTeX, where we've really worked to help promote customer stories, and that's in turn generating more interest and more potential leads in that particular vertical. Similarly with our friends in Switzerland at Comtac, again, showing some industrial monitoring solutions, people get interested. So our job's to help push that to market for you and work with you on this. So it's no u-blox marketing up front. It's really about you and your customer stories, but we're here to help get them to market, because indirectly we'll help win new business together. So again, keep us posted on maybe some success stories that you might be experiencing. So that's really the marketing update, relatively short and snappy, but I think it's interesting and to the point. So hopefully that's interesting. As we move into the technology section, before I hand over to Giovanni, we have some interesting news in terms of the Lena R8. I think it's been mentioned before. So this is quite an exciting product, certainly from our services division. We think this is a really interesting product because its price point is going to be relatively low for a Cat 1 or Cat 1 Biz module. But this effectively is going to work anywhere in the world. We know the best coverage you can see today ubiquitously is LTE, certainly Cat 1, but LTE coverage. And that's regular LTE, if you will, not LTE-M or Cat-M, which is popular, for example, in the USA, but across Europe and Asia, it's it's patchy. So if you have customers who need a device that needs a relatively small form factor cellular module that's just going to work everywhere in the world, but has the MQTT Anywhere client already baked into it, then this is an interesting product. Samples will be coming live in early to mid-June. So again, and the services team can help you get access to free samples if you have designs coming up where you think, yep, that could be interesting to us. So again, just reach out and we can help you, obtain some of these, start having a test with their capabilities. If you need any more information, yes, there is plenty on the website, but again, just feel free to ask us and we can sort of guide you on that and obviously help with those samples as well. So that's really interesting to see this kind of mass market, lower cost device coming. So with that, we will cover off just an update on 2 of the services in this session today. Across the 3 families, we're going to hand over to Giovanni shortly and learn a little bit more about Cloud Locate. Hopefully that's interesting. And then we'll touch off on just promoting a upcoming webinar around one of our security services. So with that, let's see if we can hand over to you, Giovanni, and you can take us on an update. Over to you, sir. You should have it.
Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me. I apologize in advance because I'm in the airport, and so there could be some announcement, in which case I would stop for a while. I will mute myself just for a while because it's too noisy. Okay, so today I want to show you, or to talk to you about, again, Cloud Locate. I think we met several months ago with an initial introduction. From that time, we had some interesting step onward. We also acquired some customer. There are other customer testing specifically in some areas. So I want to show you this experience that we have from now. Okay. So first of all, let's try to understand which is the main pains that we are trying to address with Cloud Locate. Well, yeah.
Sorry, Giovanni. You're not in presentation mode, so you may or may not fix it. That's it. If you just click on those, that would probably be fine for now. Yeah.
Okay, strange. Okay. Anyway, so you know that according to the type of device or the type of use case, you need different type of tracking, and for each use case, you need to optimize different stuff. So if you look on the left side, when we are looking, for example, to sport events or sport tracking, what you really need is to shorten the time to first fix. So this is the key parameter to optimize. And to do that, you need to download assistance data, and in such a case, well, you waste some data on your data plan, and also you waste some energy. For other use cases like people and pet tracking and asset tracking, well, what you really need is something different. Your main requirement is to save battery, especially in the asset tracking use case. You need a position every few hours, sometimes just once a day, other times every 2 hours. But what you really expect is a battery that can last for 2, 5, or sometimes up to 10 years. In people tracking, well, what you expect is to have a battery that is able to last for some weeks, hopefully 1 month, because this gives an advantage to the customer. Cloud Locate is really designed to do that. So we mainly address this use case. So whenever you need a position update that is in the range of a few hours or 1 day, you don't need really a high accuracy. So having something in the range of 10 meters is good enough, 20 meters is good enough. But again, the battery life is critical. So you need to scale up to months or years. And the main use case that we see is supply chain, logistic, inventory, cold chain. But from our last investigation, we did some tests and we are progressing on that testing. We see that there is space for Cloud Locate also in people and pet tracking. The reason is that this use case really need some updates for a short amount of period, usually is 1 hour during the day, in which you need an update every 5 minutes, 15 minutes, it really depends, but not so much. And again, the battery life should be long enough to keep the tracker attached to the dog or to the pet for a long time. Okay, so these are the main principle behind Cloud Locate. There was a good animation, but I can play anyway with that. The key driver is that location is needed in the cloud. I think that 95% of the customer with which I met, they really don't need a position in the device. There is no need. They all need a position on the cloud in their application platform, because the logic, the intelligence is on the application platform. Again, large power autonomy is a key driver, few position updates per day, and a reasonable position accuracy in the range of 10 meters. I think that these 4 pillars are good enough to identify if a customer can or if Cloud Locate is good for this customer. Now, what is Cloud Locate? Maybe you remember it. It works in this way. So there is a device that has some sensor. One of the sensor is the GNSS. The device gets some information from the GNSS. It does not calculate the position on the target on the device. So it brings those information till the service, and the service has an engine that is able to compute the estimation. Nowadays, Cloud Locate is based only, or it uses only GNSS information. Sorry for that. But as you can see, within this year, Cloud Locate will evolve to consider also Wi-Fi signal and cell ID information. So it will be a fusion of this sensor to provide always on the cloud the best position possible. Because, you know, an asset is moving indoor, outdoor, in different position, and sometimes the GNSS signal is not available, it's too weak. So it's good to have a backup. Let me try to close. Yeah, to have a backup using Wi-Fi and cell ID solution. So, and will be a very, very impressive intelligence on cloud side. So just a while, that is an announcement. Sorry for that. Okay, sorry again. Now that you know how Cloud Locate works, I want to highlight a couple of stuff. So first of all, you don't need assistance data. So if you look to other competitor solution, you see that they have a similar approach, but they need assistance data on the device. And this is a major drawback. So you need a powerful, well, you need a downlink connectivity. You need to waste energy to download this data. You need to switch on, of course, the cellular. And again, this is a waste of time, energy, and data. With Cloud Locate, you just need an uplink connectivity. It can be also low latency, as you, high latency, as you see, you will see in the next slide. But you don't need at any time to download additional information. This is really, really powerful. And here we have a slide that shows you in practice which is the benefit. in terms of power consumption and time to first fix? Well, this is a traditional approach where you are switching on the GNSS, you don't have assistance data, you wait until the GNSS acquire the signal, fix a position, and you are ready to use that position. So it's 10 times more than cloud locate. These are not simulation, are estimation, well, real measurement done in the field with real hardware. And at the same time, of course, you have a saving in the time to first fix, where of course for cloud locate, the time to first fix is considered the time that you need to get the measurement needed to calculate or to estimate a position. So really, it's really, really impressive, the benefit, the gain that you have. Well, just to have a look, not all the use case need the same accuracy, so you can always balance between having or wasting more energy. Wasting more energy means that you need to keep up or switch on the GNSS for a longer period, like this one. These are the second that the GNSS should stay switched on, but you can get a better position estimation. Or if you need really a coarse estimation, you can just switch on the GNSS for 1-2 seconds. That's all. Really, really, again, really powerful. So as a last slide, I want to remind you which are the typical use case with having two perspectives. One, well, let's look really at the use case, asset tracking. We have power tools. Oops. Sorry again, just for a while. Okay, yeah, asset tracking and power tools, cargo container, high, small asset. Really, we have been in touch with several customers that don't have, for example, the connectivity over for a long period. Just imagine the ship that is moving on the ocean, so they don't have the possibility to download assistance data to shorten the times to first fix. Well, the only option for those customers is to switch on and keep on the GNSS for a long time, thus wasting energy. With cloud locate, they can really reduce significantly the power budget. Again, cold chain, inventory, logistic, but this is on the use case perspective. What I want to highlight also is that cloud locate does not need a specific type of connectivity. It is really, it works really good also with high latency networks, as you see here, like LoRa, satellite. We're in touch, we are discussing with a couple of customers leader in the satellite connectivity that find really amazing this solution. Of course, NB-IoT, Sigfox, but also it works for all the other 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G connectivity. So it's not, and also Wi-Fi as well. So just have a focus. If you have a customer using satellite, LoRa, NB-IoT, or Sigfox, I strongly believe that cloud can be the right approach. And with that, I'm all. As you know, well, pricing is available in our website. Maybe Neil can show at a later stage, but it's public on our website. We have quite an aggressive plan, to be honest. It works in this way. So we have a fleet plan, so it's not per device, but it's per fleet. For 50 number of position requests, you pay $20 a month, and if you exceed this number of requests, you can pay just an overage per request. There are multiple plans. If you need more than 1 million, just contact the sales team and we can provide you additional plans. And this is in the case you want to use the service-to-service approach. So whenever the device, the customer wants to aggregate all the information, including the raw data, in its own application platform and access to the service directly from its own application platform. And that's all. I don't know if you have any questions. Let me see if there is a question on the chat. If not, I can hand over again to Neil.
No questions yet, Giovanni, but I'm sure the team know where to come for answers as and when we come across them. The fact we've got the developer plan in here is great, and again, we're really keen to get involved in more customer conversations around creating evidence and seeing the real value of this. So yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Giovanni. I appreciate you're at the airport, so thanks for attending and walking us through that. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So let me grab the screen back. I think that's it. Yep. Okay, so that was an update on Cloud Locate, one of the services in our IoT location as a service family. And then really from the security as a service family, we don't, you hear more around the IoT communication and the IoT location service families. These are kind of our flagship products. But we also have a whole security as a service suite as well. Some of this is tied to some of the u-blox hardware, and we're expanding the capabilities here. In the IoT location and the communication services, we've actually integrated some of the security services, so they don't need to be, if you like, used or purchased separately. However, coming up soon will be a webinar. Hold on, where's that gone? Here we go. So we will send this out in the partner newsletter that's being sent shortly. So the link will be in the newsletter, but the team will be covering off a whole session, the IoT certificate manager, how that operates, managing, end-to-end IoT certifications in a really slick way. So again, useful for those applications where you might be considering, again, u-blox hardware. So again, this will be in the newsletter, and you'll be all invited along to learn more about this feature from the platform as well. It's available today in the platform with other security services, and again, we're starting to make a bit more of a splash, if you will, about these.